Hi, I'm Moody, and welcome back to the Moody Rooms in conjunction with Pink Tarot of London. Tonight, I'm going to give you my top 5 annoying things that people say to me that they are spiritual when they are not spiritual. So, number 5, I always get when I ask people, are you spiritual? And they go, yeah, I'm a vegan. I eat organic food. And I'm like, right, okay. What's that got to do with being spiritual? What you eat has nothing to do with spirituality at all. And they always go, but I'm a vegan. I don't eat meat. I don't eat this. I eat clean food. Well, anyone can eat anything. Doesn't mean you're spiritual. So that's at number 5. Number 4, what's your star sign? And then you tell them and they're like, oh my God, we are just so not compatible. And I'm like, okay, you've given me your sun sign, but do you know your rising and your moon? And then they look at you like, what? Well, what's that? I'm like, well, you've just said my sign and your sign, going by horoscopes, and because you're so spiritual, we're not compatible. But it's not just about your star sign, is it? It's also about your sun, your moon, and your rising. And then they look at you like you've got 3 heads. And I'm like, okay, so you have no clue, but because you read your star signs in the newspaper or your magazine, you're spiritual. Number 3, can you not talk to me like that? I'm picking up negative vibes. And I literally like do a double eye roll whenever people say this to me, or like, you're just bringing negativity towards me. And I'm like, are you for real? But I'm really spiritual, and your negativity is making me feel down. Well, sometimes people are just in a bad mood anyway. And, I know that I get affected by people. If my kids are feeling a little bit down, I pick up on that. And I have certain people that come into my home that bring the mood down. And as soon as they're gone, the salt is out and the sage is out. And actually, I've had to stop a few people coming into my home because they bring such negativity. But that's because of issues with them. But genuinely, most people are not picking up that kind of energy like what I would do. So they are just being really, really passive aggressive when they say, can you not talk to me like that? And they're there probably smoking a fag and got like a can of Stella in their hand because, I'm being really like aggressive and negative towards them. And you're like, all right, love, jog on. Number 2, I'm really spiritual because I have crystals. I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. I love crystals. What's your favourite crystal? And they go, oh, that pink one. And I go, what? Rose quartz. And I'm like, okay, everybody can mention rose quartz. Everyone's heard of rose quartz. So I'm like, okay, so what else would you use? And they're like, oh, I don't know, but I've got this wristband with all these beads on it and it's for anxiety. And I'm like, oh, fantastic. What's the stones called? The crystals? I don't know. I just picked it up in a shop, but I'm really spiritual because I'm wearing this wristband. And I'm like, well, what is it? Tourmaline? Is it obsidian? And they're like, well, what's that? And I'm like, God, you haven't got a clue. So once again, just because you carry crystals does not mean you're spiritual. And coming in at number 1, I always get, but I'm spiritual. I'm like, do you want to elaborate on that? No, but I'm spiritual. Look at the way that I dress. Look at my funky hair. Look what I eat. Look, I have crystals. And so many people always say to me, oh yeah, I'm really spiritual too. And I'm like, really, are you? Do you actually know what it means? And they go, well, yeah, like you're in touch with your feelings. I'm like, okay, that's fantastic. What else? And they're like, I'm really spiritual. And I'm like, is that all you've got for me? So there we go. They are my top 5 bugbears of when I speak to people who tell me they are spiritual when they generally are not spiritual.